Alright, Shalom. First, I start by saying all praise to Yahweh by Shemel Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Now, this is a prophecy update on what's going on in Mexico, and it says it was all horrific. Apocalyptic scenes from fatal Mexico quake. Right, and I looked at the word apocalyptic. Apocalyptic adjective 1660s pertaining to the revelation of St. John's in the New Testament from Greek apocalyptikos from apocalyptine or liptin. Uncover, disclose, reveal. So the revealment, apocalypse mean the same thing when you look it up. Revelations means the same thing when you look it up. So y'all finna get the revealment of the truth on what's going on in Mexico and why it's happening, according to the Bible. It says residents walked past a building destroyed in an earthquake that struck off the southern coast of Mexico. And Yucatan, Mexico, September 8, 2017. It says the number of people killed by the 8.2 magnitude earthquake that hit the southern coast of Mexico late Thursday, right, and 8.26 Satan. Thursday has risen to at least 61, right? 7 completion. But it's going, as you keep reading, it's going, the death toll, this is what they're giving right now. It's probably way more than that. News and go report the true numbers. It says, with witnesses saying they cannot remember an earthquake this terrible. It says 3 days of mourning have been declared, right? So, I'm going to stop right there. 3 days of mourning have been declared. Now let's see what the scripture got to say about how many days you're supposed to, mourn for the dead. Esau go contrary to the scriptures, as well as these other leaders in these other countries, the Mexican leaders and everything also. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 22, verse 12. It says, 7 days do men mourn for him that is dead, but for a fool and an ungodly man all the days of his life. Right? So you get 7 days to mourn, man. But a fool and an ungodly man all the days of his life. And, Jake them all cry about, their kids dying and all the above forever until they die and shit. And then they kids cry until they die, But it says, right, so more of the story is you gonna cry, when shit like this happens. It's just that, the Lord don't want you crying forever about this shit when he the one who took these people away to begin with, man. It says, right, that's when your understanding kick in. Okay, it says, Mexico President Enrique Pena, I think it's Pena Nieto, said the quake was the largest registered in our country in at least the past 100 years. He said in a television address Friday night that at least 45 people were killed in Oaxaca. Oaxaca, I think that's how you say it. 12 in Chiapas and 4 in Tabasco, right? And you can do numerology if you want to. It says, but the actual death toll could be over 80. AFP reports citing local state officials over 200 people were injured across Mexico. Mexico officials say. It says a rescue operation is still underway as emergency workers in the southern region hit hardest by the quake are hoping to pull more survivors from the ruins of Mexico's most powerful earthquake in a century. It said desperate searches for survivors are still going on in the rubble of houses, churches, and schools that were torn apart. I'm going to play a video. And that's what they get, man. You know them Issacharites down there worshiping Christos. They worshiping Satan. Not only them getting hit though, you got Zebulun down there with them. You got some Ephraimites over there. You got some Judites over there. Right, so the Lord judging them. This is one Mexico City resident told ABC she sat vigil by the body of a loved one draped in a red shroud. It says, "We are holding vigil for her here because we went to purchase her coffin, but there are none left because of how many people were killed." Right, Alma Rosa. Right, so it's gonna get worse, especially it's gonna come to America, to where you ain't gonna be able to bury the bodies because it's gonna be too many of them. But over there in Mexico, they should be used to that right about now, especially with all the whole gang war and everything that was going on. It says Oaxaca resident Rosa Estiva Lewis said when she arrived at her mother's house, she was crying, and my neighbor had the ceiling fall on top of his head. I don't know if he is alive, she said. And I'm gonna get a scripture on that. They're gonna go back into it. It says in Yucatan, local residents described the quake in apocalyptic terms, right? And when people think apocalyptic in this day and age, they think about the Bible, right? Because it is of the Bible and it's coming out of the Bible on why it's happening. So you people should be taking heed, but the scriptures say that y'all weren't. It says it was all horrific. Everything collapsed. Everything. Maria Magdalena Lopez recalled. The truth is, I have no words to explain what happened. That's because you don't know the truth. Look at my home. Everything is destroyed. In the Gulf Coast state of Tabasco, 2 children were among the dead. One was crushed by a collapsing wall. Another, an infant. Right, so Lord don't care about your kids. On a respirator, died after the quake triggered a powerful outage. Let me get something on. Okay. This is Ecclesiasticus, verse 39, verse 28. It says, "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes." And them spirits is angels. They was created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force, right? And we in the time of destruction, they getting their ass fucked up over there. And appease the wrath of him that made them, fire and hail and famine and death, right? So they dying. All of these were created for vengeance. It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. So they was wicked, man. If there was any righteous in them, they would be, putting scriptures in the news media saying, oh, the Lord did this, some kid. They would be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. But, that ain't their job. That's ours. So, this is Ezekiel chapter 9. Verse 3, and the glory of the Most High of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, right? And the men that's getting that mark is the mark of of exemption. Mark means the mark of exemption, and we are being exempt from the destruction and the chaos to kick off in America through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. It says, and the others, he said in mine hearing, go ye after through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. Right. So I just read in the Apocrypha where it says them spirits that was created for vengeance, those be them angels. And this is the Ezekiel is finishing it off. Let me see. It says, slay utterly old and young, right? So the Lord ain't got no sympathy nor no mercy for no old or no young people. Both maids and little children. That's why them little kids got it. And women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And begin at my sanctuary. Right, and I'm going to cut it there. So, the Lord's people is getting their ass fucked up, man. All right. It says, I'm gonna start back right here. It says it was all horrific. Everything collapsed. Everything. Maria Magdalena Lopez recalled. The truth is, I have no words to explain what happened. Look at my home. Everything is destroyed. In the Gulf Coast state of Tabasco, two children were among the dead. One was crushed by a collapsing wall. Another, an infant on a respirator, died after the quake triggered a power outage. Rodrigo Soberines, who lives near the town of San Cristobal de las Casas in Chiapas, told AP that his house moved like chewing gum. Around 428 homes were destroyed and 1,700 damaged in various cities and towns in Chiapas. It says the Interior Department said homes made of clay tiles and wood collapsed. Nathan Hernandez, a human rights worker, lived in Tonala, Chiapas, told AP. AP should be Associated Press, if I'm not mistaken. It says at least 36 bodies were pulled from the ruins of the hardest hit city, Jucatan Oaxaca, with roofs, cables, insulation, and concrete chunks scattered everywhere. People gathered around Jucatan's wrecked town hall, where two policemen were trapped in the rubble. Rescuer workers managed to pull out one person and were still trying to save the other 18 hours. Save the other 18 hours after the earthquake. Let me see. Play this video. And you got this going on all over the world, man. They just don't be putting a lot of this stuff in the news, but this is one of the ways that the Lord is cutting off 2/3 of His people. Yeah, so they in great distress, man. See them gang signs then come down. Yeah, if that's the gang, that's what they get, man. All right, it says people gathered around Jucatan's wrecked town hall, where two policemen were trapped in the rubble. Rescue workers managed to pull out one person and we're still trying to save the other 18 comma after 18 comma hours after the quake. AFP reported. The Most High, it says, God let him come out alive, a woman cried, as 4 cranes and a dozen trucks removed what remained of the building's ruined wing. It says Vidal Vera, 29, was one of the 300 policemen digging through the rubble in an effort to find survivors. I can't remember an earthquake this terrible. He told AFP, the whole city is a disaster zone right now. Lots of damage, lots of deaths. I don't know how you can make sense of it. It's hard. My sister-in-law's husband died. His house fell on top of him. He added the priority in Yucatan is to restore water and food supplies and provide medical attention to those affected. Right. So at this point in time, you got a lot of them people starving of food and water also behind what's going on, man. Nieto tweeted on Saturday. It said Mexico's seismology service estimated the quake at 8.2 magnitude. The U.S. Geological Survey put it at 8.1. The powerful jolt was felt as far north as Mexico City, 800 kilometers from the epicenter, triggering waves that reached as far as New Zealand, over 11,000 kilometers away. 4 people were also injured in neighboring Guatemala, where President Jimmy Morales, where President Jimmy Morales ordered urgent humanitarian aid. Right, so Guatemala got hit a little bit too. It says Pope Francis, at an open-air mass on Friday during a visit to Colombia, said he was praying for those who have lost their lives and their families in the disaster. Right, and that's what the fuck they get because they be worshiping them popes and shit, and that's Satan. The motherfuckers is the devil, man. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into some scriptures. This second Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs, and this is one of the signs, man, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. This is how Yahweh Shai visit this world, by using his angels to create all this destruction and death. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, and we see in the end, because it says measure the time. How you measure the time? You gotta watch these news clippings. You gotta read. You gotta study. Keep up with the prophecies. It says, and everyone that shall be saved. Let me see. I'm gonna jump back to verse 6. Nope. I'm gonna jump back to verse 5. It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Right, so if you want to know how to escape stuff like this, man, you have to believe in Yahweh Shema Shai, and us men, we do the work, and the elect sisters, the few sisters that are out there, y'all gotta live according to righteousness. So, all right, this is the next scripture. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 16. It says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Right, so these are plagues, man. Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? And that's what these people be wondering, man. They be in fear, they be so terrified, they be scared, crying and all that shit, man. Just watch a lot of these news clippings and shit, man. And like the Lord said, they ain't gonna return again. You know, the prophecy went out, and they're gonna keep coming out. So it's gonna keep getting worse. So it says, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? All right, trusting Yahweh Shai, but that's only for the elect. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish. Right, not the Pope. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Right. So, these people not going to turn back to Yahweh Shema Shai, man. They're going to keep doing what they want to do. And, it says that in Matthew and in Luke. It gives examples on that. This is Luke chapter 17, verse 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. Right, we in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Right, so they did whatever the hell they wanted to do. And the flood came and destroyed them all. Right, so Noah was prophesying unto them like how we doing, of what's to come and why it's happening. And they kept doing what the fuck they wanted to do, and then they got destroyed. They got washed away by the flood. Same thing going on with you people right now. Likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. And you see how they rebuilding the structure up, ain't none of them paying attention to why it's happening. It says, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed, when the day Yahushua is revealed. And that day he which shall be, it's lucky. Okay, I'm gonna cut it right there. Let me jump to Matthew. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 37. It says, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right, so both the prophets telling y'all what's going on. And you got the Lord's prophets waking up in different states all over the world telling y'all what's going on. It says, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. That's when they wanted to wake up at the last minute. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, and one shall be taken, and the other left. Right, so you're going to be having brothers out there doing the work, and you're going to have them people out there that, a man out there that ain't doing the work. You have men doing the work, you have men that ain't going to be doing the work. One going to be taken, one going to be delivered, and the other one going to be left to his destruction. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. That's why I started off with 2 Ezra chapter 9. You got to measure the time diligently. It says, but know this, that if the good man of the house had known and what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. Right, and the only way you're going to know that is by watching these prophecies, man. Watching these news clippings. It says, who then is faithful and a wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. What? Doing the work, man. Doing what I'm doing. Putting these truths up. Doing what the apostles doing. We taking after their example. And the elders, man. Through the Spirit, how about Shema Shai? It says, verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, right, shall make him ruler over all his goods, he gonna get the kingdom of heaven, man. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, right, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants and to eat and drink with the drunkards, to go back into the world, man. It says the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him. So a lot of you guys who was beating the man's servants, evilly treating the brothers, who went back into the world also, man. It says, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, right? Because he left his job. This is a job, man, 24/7. And shall cut him asunder and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, right? So all y'all who left the truth, the Lord gonna destroy y'all. So it don't matter if y'all coming out there teaching the Bible, teaching the scriptures, y'all not gonna be saved, man. Let me see. This is Acts chapter 3, verse 22. It says, for Moses truly said unto the fathers, a prophet shall the Lord your power raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me. He was talking about Yahushua. Moses was prophesying of Yahushua. Him shall ye hear in all things whatsoever he shall say unto you. And it shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet shall be destroyed from among the people. Right, so if y'all want to take heed to the words, the scriptures that I just broke down to you through the Spirit of Shema Shai, and us his men, Yahweh of the elect, y'all gonna be destroyed. It's gonna be more earthquakes and higher death tolls. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be famines, deaths, more starvation. People gonna be starving, and there's gonna be food nearby. They just ain't gonna be able to get to it. But that's it for the lesson. All praise to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth with sincerity. Shalom.